Okay, so this is a video to explain about how to set up your visualstudio.com account. So I'm just going to go now to visualstudio.com, and having got there, I'm going to sign in. Now what I'd like you to do here, however, is sign in with your work or school account, not through your kind of like outlook.com or whatever account. Click on sign in with work or school account. And if you've already logged into StudyNet, that should come up straight away. So I'm going to click on that. Notice my password already, and it's going to prompt it from StudyNet. So having got all of that sorted, what it should then do, hopefully, is come back to visualstudio.com with now this. Now, as you see, kind of like a number of people have already kind of joined me. Now I'm going to create an account now, just as everybody else has. So click on create account. Okay, create your account, and I'm going to call this one manage, or choose manage code choosing Team Foundation Server rather than Git. Okay, and we'll create your account. Oh, let me see this. Let me call it Steve. Okay, and I'll do that. Continue. Of course, you don't have to follow any particular kind of way of creating your name and everything. Okay, so here we go then, creating a project. We're just waiting for it. I'll just pause the recorder a second. And having done that, I should eventually come, my first project is now in the cloud. Okay, so if I go to home, I don't know where my first project is. Okay. So let's now try and create a project. So if you want to create a new project, now be aware that the meaning of a project inside visualstudio.com is slightly different from a project inside Visual Studio on your desktop. And in fact, one project on Visual Studio.com can have many projects on your desktop inside it. So it's a slightly different concept. But anyway, let's kind of go to create a new project, go to the settings, sort of manage project business here. Okay. And there, I mean, if you actually click on just your name to go to the root of your site, or you can even just do it like that, removing the edge from your site. You can then here from the root of your site and create a new project. So I'll call it my project called Steve RIADD, and as I say, make it Team Foundation Server. Okay, create a project. And so again, I'm going to pause it while it goes through the motions. Having created your project, you click on Navigate to Project. Okay, so now we're inside the project, and as you see, I'll click on Code. There is no, well, there is, we say no code. There's these build process templates, but they're just they don't really mean anything. Okay, so that's it. So we click on Steve RIADD again, go to just this kind of root of the project. Actually, let's click on home. Okay, so now we're inside Steve RIADD, as you can see here. Now suppose I want to actually now create some code. What I'm going to do now is click on Open in Visual Studio. Okay, so I'm going to click on this, Open in Visual Studio. In my case, it's opening Visual Studio Community 2015, and I'll pause again while it sort of loads up. Now in my case, because I've kind of like done also with another account, so it's prompting me here, but this may not be necessary in your case, but I'm going to say comq wait a minute, comqsjb@hearts.ac.uk. Click continue. It'll take me to my organization sign in page. Having done that, it should then give me all the features. So now I've going to drag this across just to kind of come into the area, so you can see for all of Visual Studio. Okay, so now I've got then this thing. Now, once you have something like that, you see, so it's connected to my project on visualstudio.com. Okay, but now if you like, I have to create a project in locally, which is going to be somehow connected with that that project. Okay, so let's go to I think it's map and get. Okay, the workplace was mapped successfully, and once you've done that, click on Source Control Explorer. Okay, so now remember I've got these two projects, my first project and Steve RIADD. Okay, now then Steve RIADD there, if I double click on it, okay, and then I need to click on Solution Explorer. Okay, and oh, not yet, there's something else I need to do first. So stay on Team Explorer. Okay, and then yes, which is Workplace. Now click on New here under Solutions. Click on New. Having clicked on New, we're going to choose an ASP.NET Web application. Its location by default is going to be an Web Application 1 in Steve RIADD. Now what it will do, it'll create a folder called Steve RIADD if I choose create a directory for solution, and then below that there will be another folder which will be the another folder. I mean, I could, if I want to get rid of that create directory for solution, then it'll all go straight into Steve RIADD, but I'll keep it like it is just for simplicity's sake, and I'll just say how-to guide. Okay, so that's great. So under Steve RIADD there's this new project called How-to Guide. So click OK. It says, you know, ASP.NET, I'm going to make it web forms, and I would advise you to do, unless you are somebody who's already kind of like really kind of far ahead, in which case you might want to choose ASP.NET MVC. Certainly it'll give you more opportunities in the workplace if you do that. But, you know, for those of you, and a lot of you said you haven't got much experience with web programming, you'd be better off definitely with using web forms if that is your situation. So I'm going to click on that, and when it comes up to Azure, now then, we talked about that in the class. I mean, fortunately it's still using my my Microsoft account, so I need no, the account has no subscriptions, cloud for subscription. Personally, I'm going to avoid that. If you can manage to get Azure to work without paying for it, then that's fine, but I'm going to kind of leave it in my case. I'm going to say cancel here. Okay, and then it's still going to now kind of transfer all of the, it's going to put all of the files necessary for a basic ASP.NET page, and it's going to put them into the folder Steve RIADD / or / how-to guide. So I'm going to pause it again, or it might be nearly done. No, it's going to pause it again. So here it says your ASP.NET application. Okay, so it's all various stuff there. So it's adding some things to the project, etc., etc. So in this one, so I've got now, if I get to Solution Explorer, you can see all the files which this thing is made up of. There's the project README. If I click on default.aspx, and then I go into the design view, you'll see the master page come up, and I'm going to say RIADD how-to guide. Okay, just to show that I can change it. So I've done that, and now I'm going to run it in Google Chrome. Hopefully it will work. And then, as you see, it's appeared, so the RIADD how-to guide is there. So I've managed to successfully change it. Now then, the next part is the really important one, which is to say we're going to now kind of like upload all this code onto visualstudio.com. Well, not so much upload as if you like commit it. Okay, so I'm going to stop it here. Then I'm going to right click on the how-to guide. I'm going to choose on the solution rather than the project. Click on the solution and choose check in. Checking in, what that means is I'm now going to, essentially it means upload all the changes you've made to the existing project repository. Now there isn't anything in the project repository at the moment because this is the first time we've ever added anything, so I'm just going to say first commit. Okay, now in the first commit there's a lot of things that are going to go up there, 220 items. So I click yes, and now it's uploading all of these 220 kind of files that are necessary for the thing, and for some reason my network must be incredibly fast today, because that seems to have done it in amazingly quick time. Now you can see if something's committed, because you've got these sort of these kind of blue checked in kind of indications here. So all of these, if I mouse over them, it says check in. If I were to change anything, like for example RIADD new line, the how-to guide, you'll notice that default.aspx has got a red tick by it. And what that means is default.aspx has changed, but nothing else has changed. Okay, so if I were to commit that now, if I now right click again and choose check in, there's basically only 3 things that it needs to check in. So I click in yes. Okay, enter a check-in comment, just updated default.aspx again. Okay, and then having done that, I click check in, click yes, and oh, it is uploading a load of other things. I didn't know why it's suddenly uploading another load of other things. So maybe I did something slightly wrong. And yeah, so it's not kind of going completely to plan, and for some reason it all went a bit strange there. But it's just going to check in 3 items, and it's done that 3 items. I don't know exactly what weird thing happened there. Okay, but anyway, now what should happen is if I now look on visualstudio.com, so if I go back now to visualstudio.com, wait a minute, there's my first project, Steve, and there's my project, there's Steve RIADD. Okay, and if I click on the code, so if I go back now basically to get out of admin and just click on code, what you should see is that the how-to guide folder is there, and then another kind of subfolder, how-to guide, and all the basically code is there. Notice like first commit 4 minutes ago, just updated ASP again. So that is basically how we kind of like connect the work you do on the desktop to what is available on the server. I mean, as you saw with my case, there's occasionally a little network issue which made things a little bit complicated, but that is how you get your code onto visualstudio.com. Okay.